Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the March 11th meeting of the Milton Town Planning Board. Mr. Marsicano, would you please lead us in the pledge of the flag?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, just a couple of quick announcements before we get started. The Milton Land Use and Zoning Committee meeting will be occurring tomorrow evening, Thursday, March 12th, here at 6:30 PM, right, Barb? So if anybody's interested, this is the monthly meeting. We're going to kind of have more of a working session just with the committee to kind of scope out priorities on zoning changes. We're working on both the solar and battery storage local law changes, as well as looking at the townwide comprehensive plan land use recommendations and what we need to do there. I do know that our planner has got some little analysis that she's done on the solar law that she'll be sharing with us tomorrow night. So if you're interested in any of that, come for a very fun evening of planning and zoning at the town hall. Also, on Monday, March 16th, Saratoga County DPW will be having a public hearing on the Route 50 North Line Road roundabout project. That's going to be at 6 PM at the Fire Training Center, 610 County Farm Road. Their engineering firm, CHA Engineering, will provide an update on the project, and then people can have formal public comments. They're also accepting public comments through March 30th if you can't attend that session. So that's a pretty big project. It's one that we had, the town had embraced in part with the Route 50 corridor study we did about 4 years ago, maybe even longer than that. But that's a work in progress. So if you've got concerns or comments on that, please go to that meeting. And then it's also my understanding that the Personnel Committee has a recommendation for an alternate member to the Planning Board, so they'll be presenting that to the Town Board on March 25th. So next month, we may have a new member to the Planning Board. Our first order of business this evening is the approval of our February meeting minutes. I'll entertain a motion to approve the meeting minutes of February 11th, 2026.
Mr. Chairman, I so move.
I'll second.
Any changes, additions, or comments on the meeting minutes? There being none, please pull the board.
Mr. Marsicano,
Yes.
Van Danza,
Yes.
Mr. Whittle,
Yes.
Mr. Fry,
Yes.
Miss Marin,
Yes.
Miss Yelenic,
Yes.
Chairman Barto.
Yes. Okay, we'll now open the meeting to public comment. This is our only opportunity for public comment this evening since we don't have any scheduled public hearings. So if you're streaming on our meeting tonight and you are online and like to make a comment, please use the hand wave feature and our secretary will let you in. Otherwise, if you have comments and would like to address the board, please come up front, use the microphone and introduce yourself and your address. If you have written comments, please summarize them and leave a copy with us so we can disperse them to the board. Try to avoid redundant comments and remember that this is not necessarily a question and answer period, just your opportunity to have comments on the board. So with that, I'll open the public comment period at 7:03 PM. Does anybody choose to address the board at this time? Anybody online choose to address? Okay, we'll close the public comment period at 7:03 and shortly thereafter PM. All right, our first project this evening is a request for a 6-month extension for a special use permit at the Milton Solar Farm or project at 209 Stone Church Road. Is the applicant or the representative here to discuss? Please come up and give us any update that you have or what your ask is.
Just turn on the microphone if you want to do that.
Good evening. My name is
Turn on the
Tony.
microphone.
Yeah, I gotta get a pen.
Check. Okay.
Yes.
My name is Tony Steffen.
Hi,
with
Tony.
Kruger Energy.
Yep.
We're here to ask the board for an additional extension of our special use. The update is, to go back a little ways, we purchased this property in March of 2025. The major delays recently have been due to procurement as it relates to new tax rules. We have to field and analyze what the new tax law has to do with our return on this project. We've cleared that, and the project is back on and it is on. Just today, we funded one half of the host community benefit agreement of $50,000. It's $100,000
Yep.
agreement. Another 50 will come when when COC is reached. The IFC plan set is in almost final form. We expect it to be presented to the board chair April 16th is the approximate date, and a building permit application filed, a day or so after that. The pilot agreement is in place, the payment in lieu of taxes. The bond decommissioning forms have been submitted. I think there was a conversation with the town as to what they wanted, but that's been solved.
Okay.
So we asked for that extension so that we don't run afoul of this expiration of the last extension, which comes up on March the 15th. With that, I'll take questions.
Okay. So, any questions from the board or anybody at this point? Okay. I just want to point out that the town does have a moratorium on solar installation projects through June of this year. And they are looking at revising the code. This project has been exempt from that moratorium through that period of time, but in the event that new standards come into play, the town board will be making decisions as to whether or not. So I want to encourage you to get some vested interest into this project as soon as possible, to get going as we can, just so nothing changes on you.
Good.
Now, the town board may consider granting these continued exemptions for projects that have been approved. They may say some or all of new standards might apply. That's completely up to the town board when they go to it, but just give you a heads up that
Good
keep
to
an
know.
eye on that. So what the applicant's request for is a 5th special use permit extension. It's noted in their correspondence. We last did this on their issuance was February 25th, I think, or their correspondence, February 25th, 2026, asked for that to be extended. We would be extending this through September, what's the date? 15th. Okay. So that is the 6 months. All right. Is there any other questions or anything that the board are we prepared to act on this request?
I have a quick question.
Sure, go right ahead.
Battery storage. You have any plans? No.
Okay. Yeah, nothing's changed on the application that we've seen to date.
That's great.
Here. So with that, I guess then, having noted that they've demonstrated good faith and continuation of the project commitments and implementing the project, I would entertain a motion to grant a 6-month extension of the special use permit for this project, with provisions that, one, the additional extension is warranted under the particular circumstances relating to the solar energy system. The expiration of the special use permit is extended for the 5th 6-month period from March 15th, 2026 through September 15th, 2026. And that the requested special use permit is approved subject to all the original terms and conditions contained within the original resolution dated September 15th, 2023, and such terms and conditions are not modified, changed, or except as provided above, which is the extension through September 15th, 2026.
I'll make the motion.
Bernadette Rendice, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Jim Marsicano. Any further discussion by the board? There no being further discussion, please pull the board.
Mr. Marsicano,
Yes.
Ms. Van Denza,
Yes.
Mr. Whittle,
Yes.
Mr. Fry,
Yes.
Ms. Marin,
Yes.
Ms. Yelenick,
Yes.
Chairman Barto.
Yes. Okay, thank you. Yes, sir. Okay, next we have back before us a 4-lot minor subdivision at 199 Stone Church Road. If you recall, this project was last before us in May of 2025. We declared the town of Milton Planning Board as lead agency, and we also noted the extent of wetlands around the project and requested the applicant to do a wetlands jurisdictional determination from DEC, which they have done. So at this point, I would entertain a motion to determine that this action is an unlisted action pursuant to the State Environmental Quality Review Act.
Mr. Chairman, I so move.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion from the board? There being no discussion, please pull the board.
Mr. Marsicano,
Yes.
Van Denza,
Yes.
Mr. Whittle,
Yes.
Mr. Fry,
Yes.
Ms. Marin,
Yes.
Ms. Yelenick,
Yes.
Chairman Barto.
Yes. Okay, is the applicant here to just bring us up to speed on anything you've got there? Go right up here, please. Introduce yourself.
I'm Jeffrey Lehner.
Yep.
Own property at 199 Stone Church Road.
Anything new to the project that you want to? Okay. Okay, so I'm going to read the State Environmental Quality Assessment Form, Part 2, the impact assessment. Bring this up to our seeker speed. So there's 11 questions that I'll read here. If anybody has any changes or comments on what I've put on here, just stop me and we'll do it. So will the proposed action create a material conflict with an adopted land use plan or zoning regulation? I'm saying no. Will the proposed action result in a change in the use or intensity of use of land? I'm saying no. Will the proposed action impair the character or quality of the existing community? I'm saying no. Will the proposed action have an impact on the environmental characteristics that caused the creation of a critical environmental area? We don't have any critical environmental area, so I'm saying no. Will the proposed action result in the adverse change in existing level of traffic or affect existing infrastructure for mass transit, biking, or walking? I'm saying no. Will the proposed action cause an increase in the use of energy and it fails to incorporate reasonably available energy conservation or renewable energy opportunities? I'm saying no. Will the proposed action impact existing public-private water supplies or public-private wastewater treatment facilities? I'm saying no for both. 8, will the proposed action impair the character or quality of important historic, archaeological, architectural, or aesthetic resources? I'm saying no. Will the proposed action result in an adverse change to natural resources, e.g. wetlands, water bodies, groundwater, air quality, flora, and fauna? I'm saying no. Will the proposed action result in an increase in the potential for erosion, flooding, or drainage problems? I'm saying no. And lastly, will the proposed action create a hazard to environmental resources or environmental health? And I'm saying no. Anybody have any comments or changes to those? All right, having reviewed the application and its supporting documents, and found that there would be no significant adverse environmental impacts, I will entertain a motion that the project will not result in any significant adverse environmental impacts and that the chair is authorized to sign the State Environmental Assessment Form Part 3 as such.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion by the board? There being none, please pull the board.
Mr. Marsicano,
Yes.
Van Denza,
Yes.
Mr. Whittle,
Yes.
Mr. Fry,
Yes.
Miss Marin,
Yes.
Miss Yelenick,
Yes.
Chairman Barto.
Yes. Okay, any other questions of the applicant at this point in time?
Do we have a preliminary map of where the plots are?
Yes, you should have a subdivision map in your
Yeah.
folder. Did they get hard copies or
Oh,
just the electronic copy? That was,
Electronic.
okay, so you,
I'll look for that then.
you should have it. I have a hard copy here, so there are the one existing lot and 3 new additional lots.
I'll look it up later. Thank you.
Okay, yes, so you do have that. And then we do have to have a public hearing on this. So I would entertain a motion to schedule a public hearing for a minor subdivision application at 199 Stowe Church Road for 7:05 PM on Wednesday, April 8th, 2026.
Make a motion.
Bernadette, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Whittle, any discussion by the board? There being none, please pull the board.
Mr. Marsicano,
Yes.
Miss Van Danza,
Yes.
Mr. Whittle,
Yes.
Mr. Fry,
Yes.
Miss Marin,
Yes.
Miss Yelenick,
Yes.
Chairman Barto.
Yes, okay, so we'll see you April 8th.
Okay, great.
Yep. Okay, next we have a request for a special use permit extension for the Masonic Lodge at 112 Columbia Avenue Extension. If you all recall, we reviewed this site plan and special use permit back in 2023 and approved both. The special use permit was approved with a renewal in 3 years. The applicant is before us this evening with that request as well as some proposed modifications to that special use permit. First, I just want to classify this action under the State Environmental Quality Review Act, and I would deem this as a type 2 action under 617.5 subsection 18 as a reuse of an existing commercial use permitted under the Milton zoning code as a special use permit. You concur with that, council? Okay. And our planner did too. I found that myself. I was kind of surprised that that one was in there. But either way, I would entertain a motion to classify this as a type 2 action pursuant to the State Environmental Quality Review Act, therefore not needing any environmental review.
Mr. Chairman, I so move.
Whittle, do I have a second? Second, anybody?
I'll second.
Pray.
Not.
Any discussion? There being none,
I
please
got
pull.
I got a quick
Whoop,
question,
Go ahead.
John. I'm not sure what the changes are, so how can we assess the?
We're going to ask him that. There are a couple things they did specifically talk about in their, well, first.
Shouldn't
it's a
we
type
hear
2
the
action.
changes first, though?
Well, no, it's a type 2 action explicitly under the law because it's a special use permit for a commercial activity of a use permitted in the zoning code. So it just
So
becomes.
that's a given then.
That's a given,
Okay.
right, council?
Yes, I mean, if there was a substantial, super substantial change,
Or environmental impact.
That's what I was getting at, yeah.
Yeah.
The changes are
But
not,
generally speaking, I found this to be a really odd one. There could be a lot of special use permits that we have, but on the face of it, the issuance of any special use permit for an existing, and it is that to be existing,
Mhm.
commercial or residential use that's permitted in the zoning code is by state law a type 2 action.
Okay.
Which is a pretty big thing.
yeah.
I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I mean, there's some pretty big things we allow by special use permit. But they are a type 2 action
Okay.
on the face of it. I suppose can we override?
well, no, it's really related to it's a reuse. So as long as it's a reuse of that facility, if there's a major change in use, then you would have the,
It's a different question.
yeah.
So,
Thank you.
okay, after that discussion, please poll the board.
Mr. Marsicano,
Yes.
Miss Van Danza,
Yes.
Mr. Whittle,
Yes.
Mr. Fry,
Yes.
Miss Marin,
Yes.
Miss Yelenick,
Yes.
Chairman Barto.
Yes, okay. Does the applicant have a representative here?
Seems kind of odd.
Please. present to us and, as Mr. Marcicano pointed out, explain the changes you would like.
to reopen it too,
We could if we had to, but
if you had to.
that's a whoops.
Uh-oh.
Good evening, Chairman and members of the Planning Board. My name is Jeff Curto, 950 MacArthur Drive, Ballston Spa. I am Joint Trustee President of the Saratoga County Masonic Hall Association. With me tonight is Dustin Cogswell, our Secretary. And I'd also like to acknowledge Roy Ann Rogerson, President of the Saratoga Masonic Hall Association and member of Order of Eastern Star, one of our concordant bodies. We'd like to begin by sincerely thanking the Planning Board for the special use permit granted in June of 2023. That resolution allowed us to purchase the property and begin the improvement process of our building. We appreciate the time, diligence, and thoughtful conditions included in that resolution. We recognize the trust the board placed in us at that time. Since that approval, we've worked and continue to work very intentionally to honor both the letter and the spirit of those conditions. We appreciate as well the opportunity to add some context tonight for our renewal request. Over the past 3 years, we've fully complied with every requirement of the special use permit, including hours of operation, lighting, access limitations, fencing, screening, and members-only use outlined in the original approval. In addition, we have made significant investments in the property, improving the building, maintaining the grounds, adding privacy screening, addressing safety and lighting concerns, removing diseased trees to improve the overall health and appearance of the property while maintaining the integrity of the landmark. Our guiding principle has been simple: to be good neighbors and responsible stewards of a property that holds real significant value in the town of Milton, while honoring and upholding our organization, which has been in this area since the birth of our nation. Freemasonry is not new to this area. The Masonic fraternity has been established in Saratoga County for more than 225 years, with lodges meeting continuously in this region since 1795. During that time, Masonic organizations have been deeply woven into the civic, charitable, and historic fabric of Saratoga County. Specifically, local lodges, and affiliated organizations have supported veteran and military families, youth leadership and local scholarship programs, public safety initiatives such as blood drives and CPR training, adopt a highway cleanup efforts, food, housing, and social service organizations such as LifeWorks Community Action Food Pantry and the Alzheimer's Association, community education and historical preservation, and more broadly, the Shriners Children's Hospital. In many ways, Freemasonry is a part of Saratoga County's living history, not just its past. Most of our efforts are supported by local fundraising and community actions. However, Masonic charity doesn't stop at the town line. Through our local worldwide efforts, we help support major charitable institutions and worldwide impact, including the Shriners Hospital for Children, which provides specialized medical care to children regardless of a family's ability to pay, and the Masonic Medical Research Institute, MMRI, in Utica, New York, a globally respected research center whose work has advanced treatments for heart disease, genetic disorders, and autoimmune diseases. The MMRI supports and advances world-class research also on neurodivergence, with particular focus on autism spectrum conditions. We would like the opportunity to return to some of our fundraising traditions. In the past, when we hosted a fundraiser, such as a takeout dinner or a craft sale, it helped channel those dollars for such entities, including local charities, life-saving pediatric care, breakthrough medical research, education, training for future scientists and physicians, and the Veterans Community Housing Coalition. These types of fundraisers have been put on hold over the last few years due to some of the requirements of the special use permit. Allowing limited non-member participation directly grows our benevolence, strengthens our charitable reach, and increases the good that flows back into the community. We ask that the town take this into consideration and allow for the visitation of non-Masonic members to help us with support. The property itself reflects that history. The building is the former Ballston train station, a site that historically experienced regular traffic gatherings in public and industrial use. Our current operations are far less intense than what once existed here, and have been mindful to ensure our use remains compatible with the surrounding neighborhood. As community members ourselves, we understand that, and we would want the respect of the same. As part of this renewal, we are requesting two modest practical adjustments. First, a small extension of operating hours from 9:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. This request is not to increase activity or events, merely to allow the orderly wrap-up of our small meetings, usually less than 12 people, which on occasion would run slightly past 9:30 p.m. This extension would prevent rushed closures while maintaining the same overall character of use. Second, We are requesting permission to invite non-Masonic members onto the property for limited, low-impact, benevolent, and community-focused activities. Allowing limited non-member visitation would significantly expand our ability to conduct charitable fundraising, support local nonprofits and youth organizations, offer community-based value-added support services such as blood drives, CPR trainings, and crafting seminars, offer historical and educational programs to the community, sharing access to our world-class library, including historical books, artwork, media, and periodicals, along with Masonic-sponsored lecturers. This will strengthen partnership with the town of Milton and its surrounding community. These activities would be small in scale, low traffic, and infrequent, probably 5 or 6 per year, typically involving fewer than 30 people at a time. Some are fundraisers and some are community building events. Examples include potentially takeout barbecue dinners and holiday food fundraisers such as bake sales, all of which would be done as an outdoor barbecue or catering event with an established company since we do not have a commercial kitchen. Spring planting and garden seedling swaps, business and professional clothing drives, scout support. Franklin Lodge number 22, another concordant body, is the chartered organization for Scout Troop number 1. And we would like to expand their presence by reestablishing workshops as well as our Masonic Eagle Award and ceremony, which honors Eagle Scouts who have shown extraordinary achievements. Community recognition events, such as our Distinguished Service Award, given to a deserving member of the community, something we have not done since our move to Columbia Ave. Teaching workshops, such as wreath building, woodworking, and carpentry for youth and adults, historical lectures and library lending programs using our statewide historical resources on subjects such as art, architecture, and symbolism, possibly even a seasonal celebration tied to Milton's rail history, like a holiday train viewing when it rolls through the area. This change would not add significant traffic increase. It would, however, increase community benefits while fostering community connections. At our core, we are a charitable community service organization looking to help support the local community. We seek to be inclusive rather than closed off. We are obviously proud of our history and would be grateful for the board's guidance. We remain committed to continuing to operate responsibly and transparently. By granting this renewal, along with the modest adjustments, you'd be enabling us to expand our benevolence, charity, and community support initiatives while preserving the quiet character of the neighborhood and the historical significance of the property. We hope that the board takes all of this into consideration and chooses to move our charity forward with optimism. Thanks for your time and consideration. And I'm happy to answer any questions. And I can also offer you a copy of my words. And thank you for letting me read.
Yeah, sure. If you could leave a copy of that with us, we'll put that in the record. That would be great. Questions of the board?
I'm just, the two things that you guys are requesting were two of my biggest concerns to start with. That is a residential neighborhood. And I would want to see a lot of support from the community. I know the last time they were very concerned about this, and those were the things I remember. We went to the site visit. We, the concern was that you would open it up to events. And what you're asking for, I thought we gave you enough wiggle room that people would be connected to the, membership of your club. And it was primarily, at least what's discussed with us that time, that it was primarily for your actual activities as a club, not fundraising, not dinners, not breakfasts, that it was, to carry on your traditions as a club. I'm personally a little disappointed that you're pursuing this. And I know it's all good things that you're saying, but it might have been a train station at one point, but it's been a quiet neighborhood for a very long time. And I have significant concerns about why you're requesting that you can open it up. And at this point, I'd really love to hear from the community whether they support this or not.
Well, it's a big change, so we did ask council for their opinion. This is a substantive change, so it would be subject to a public hearing. And we, as our public hearing, we'd notify within 500 feet, 300 feet? 300 feet.
Does that extend, would that extend to also the village line there? Because you have Hyde Boulevard right there.
Whatever 300 feet is, we could
doesn't
make that
okay.
bigger.
I mean, I think that was a consideration because when they were on Hyde Boulevard and it's still in that same neighborhood, it's just a turn.
Yeah.
I think there are people that will be impacted by this that are outside of that.
I mean, we could search further. If I don't know what distance you'd want to go to notify that the
Okay.
hearing.
If I may weigh in though, I don't think it's good practice to deviate from our neighbor notification
Okay.
standards, because if we deviate for this particular
Well,
application.
but if the village wanted to do
recommend
something in terms of making
resistance
sure people got notice that there was going to be a hearing,
Okay.
that you could do that. You could let people know. So you're probably correct. It's probably not good practice to say, let's do 500 or
Can't treat applications
Yeah.
differently.
so, but yes, if you wanted to get more information out to people that this is under consideration. You are correct in bringing up that the community did come out and raise concerns about what would be the potential impact. And would
Around
there be a
those two
lot more
issues.
public
Yeah.
use of this? And that's why we had many of these conditions that were put on here. So now some of them that you mentioned, things like doing your annual awards, I think those are club-related activities. I don't, so that's why I wanted to see, I was trying to make some notes of what you were listing, like if you're doing your award recognition of one of your members, that to me is a club-related activity. There was some, like the holiday viewing, I did happen to go to the holiday train when it came to Saratoga train station. There had to be 700 people there. That would be huge. I don't know that they expected 700 people there. I mean, people were lined up for a long ways. I took my grandkids there. It was quite busy and quite crowded. I mean, people were up on the highway bridge looking down, not that there's a bridge here or anything, but it was a lot of people that came and showed up. It's there. But either way, so just to have your comments, we can put them on the record, but we
There's also some confusion as to the limitation of non-Masonic members. Does that include activities and visitors like a Distinguished Service Award or the Boy Scouts coming onto our property? We were reading it very letter to the law. And only
I think we could look at some of those things to say, what would it be? And that's why I think we'd want to, A, see what you had listed there. But B, I don't know, we'd have to, I think, see what is it you're actually looking for and how do we not let this be a lot of mission creep? Because that was, you're correct, Bernadette, there was a distinct lot of concern of the community was, are we going to have a lot of traffic? Are we going to see a lot of impact here?
And I'm sorry, I did not mean to offend anybody with this.
Oh, I don't think,
It's
yeah.
been, 3 years, and I think we put some thought into the size and
Okay.
scale of things that we could do. So I wanted to just clearly
No,
articulate.
it's better that you tell us exactly what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then from there, we can react to
Dispel
it.
any rumors of putting in restaurants or kitchens or anything like that, because,
Yeah.
you're not looking to do that at all.
I mean, did you do any of those things when you were at Hyde Boulevard?
So I was not a member at Hyde Boulevard. I was at Saratoga, on North
Okay.
Broadway when we sold our building, and we did do those in that location.
When you say did those,
We did a steak roast, a corned beef and cabbage dinner, and a harvest dinner. So we did 3 events. And again, we had about 20 people in our building. We've decided to make this a takeout option if we were to do dinners, so that there
Okay.
wouldn't be lingering, and it would be pick up.
Okay.
We don't really have seating and capacity for
Okay.
large events.
okay.
Excuse me, and then with regard to Franklin Lodge at High Boulevard, we didn't have a commercial application there either. Anything was done with members and barbecues, and
That was actually in violation of village code at that time. So no, that's okay. Like that was kind of the rub, right? That's why some of the people in the community were upset about it. And if when it was presented to us, the first time application, it was said, no, we're not doing that. And that, I think, made people more comfortable because it is a quiet road, regardless of you think the change in use or whatever. It is a quiet road. And I would love to know exactly outlined and what does, because there are things that probably do overlap if somebody's a member and they want to have an event. But if you're having people, even if they're doing pickup, that's a lot of traffic because, how many times do we see the village particularly do, barbecue dinners, and there's ongoing traffic. I mean, you guys would sell probably more because people always look for those because it's the night you don't have to cook, So I think that if you did just pick up only, you would have to really make sure you limit how many you're going to sell. This is not a simple sort of decision, I think. We think we need a lot of details.
Sure, I think, well, yeah, I think,
Sorry, I
no,
don't
no,
mean to.
that's perfectly
And I'd
reasonable.
also like to add that we also would want the community support too. We don't want to do this behind our neighbors' backs, and we don't want to
Yeah.
make anybody upset with this. I was not involved with the original renewal or the original request. I did go back to read the minutes. It did seem like a lot of the concern was there was a change in the Hyde Boulevard property and a request for extension, and there was parking and foot traffic and those things. I think we've come a long way since that.
Yeah. We didn't review the High Boulevard because that was in the village. It wasn't in, it wasn't us. So we didn't have that. This is in the town now. So we reviewed the request when it was in
Yeah,
the
there might have
town.
been public comment.
But it did generate a lot of broader interest from the community. So
We would.
did you have something, Sophia?
Yeah, if I may add, so one of the questions that we had just internally was the frequency of events, and it's not really, you volunteered something indicating maybe a maximum of 5 or 6 events. And I'm just trying to think if the concern is high volume or an event that has an adverse impact on the adjacent neighborhood, and we're concerned about that. I'm wondering if there's a means or a way to A, establish a threshold on the number of events, and B, maybe incorporate something like a schedule of events or something that indicates anticipated volume, hours of duration, something where there might be an intermediary that helps to commit both the applicant and the town on a mutual understanding about when those events are taking place, so there's adequate notice, and scaling them so they're appropriate to the size of the facility. So just a
Yeah.
suggestion.
And I think they should articulate the events that they would like to ask for. We can then go through those and either agree or alter those. And say, yeah, yes, we can agree. Like I said, I mean, if they're going to give a recognition award to one of their members,
That's not a
that,
problem.
that's one of their, that to me is a club activity. If, I don't know, maybe the Boy Scouts recognition isn't a big event, maybe, I don't know what exactly is it they're asking to do. Might agree, oh, we're going to serve, takeout chicken barbecue to accommodate 500 people. That could be a big event, 500 cars coming in and out might be more than the community wants to see happen there. Or I don't know. That's why I think they need to be very clear about what they want to ask us to do. And then we can evaluate that based on that. And the public can comment based on that list.
And the only other thing, I was just looking through a code to see if we had temporary event permits. Some building departments have a temporary event permit that will specifically for a limited event, a limited series that kind of establishes all those things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
other than a mass gathering.
I don't think we have that.
No.
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering, while it doesn't exist, if
Something
there's
to think
something that the
about.
board could establish that would give them some measure of comfort as to establishing those thresholds to impacts, if that's fine at all, but just a consideration.
If I could ask you a quick, what prevents you from putting commercial appliances in it?
Our code would do.
Probably.
I don't think our code,
Was one.
I don't think our code specifically prevents it, but
Honestly, I don't know that we have the manpower to work a commercial kitchen. We don't have the funds to come in. We don't have the plans and thoughts.
well, is that something you would be willing to say would not go in? Commercial appliances and,
Trajectory of commercial kitchen in the lodge building, there's failure for the lodge. That's the trend line. So it's not just, I mean, that was years ago. And those were big community events, and that's not, we can't operate that way anymore. It doesn't, society doesn't function that way, unfortunately. So there's really no point to do that.
well, I'm just giving you something to consider as we work through this process. Yeah.
Any other comments, questions? So A, I'd ask you to, you can leave that list here. B, I would ask that you prepare a list of what you're specifically asking us to look at and try to get that to Sophia as soon as possible.
Within the next couple of weeks, probably.
Yeah. And I'm willing to say, if you can get that to us in the next 2 weeks, we could schedule a public hearing for the next month. We'll do the 300-foot notifications for people within 300 feet. Does this need to get referred? Is this within the distance to the village that we would be referring this to the village? How many feet away from the village? But either way, Bernadette, you should let the village know, and if they want to do something,
Yeah.
make sure people in a larger area are at least aware.
Yeah.
Feel free to that, they can do that. I don't mind if other people come to the hearing. But we want to hear about that. So with that, I would entertain a motion to schedule a public hearing for a special use permit renewal and amendment at 112 Columbia Avenue Extension for 7:10 PM on Wednesday, April 8th, 2026.
Mr. Chairman, I so move.
Whittle, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Any discussion? There being none, please pull the board.
Mr. Marsicano,
Yes.
Van Danza,
Yes.
Mr. Whittle,
Yes.
Mr. Fry,
Yes.
Miss Marin,
Yes.
Miss Yelenik,
Yes.
Chairman Barto.
Yes. Is there any other business to be brought before the board this evening? There being none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn at, what time is it? 7:40 PM.
Mr. Chairman, I so move.
Second, Bernadette Van Dies. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? We're adjourned. Have a good evening.